Like, if you're a woman watching this video, I can bet $5 that at some point in your life there was a man who came in your DMs with a picture of a goblin looking like shriveled cock as his way of saying hello. Yo, what's up, guys? So today we're gonna have a fat, juicy second reality check, but we're gonna be talking about the gender divide between men and women. Now, it's a circle jerk topic and it's a controversial topic, but there's a lot to say about it. Obviously, it's a circle jerk thing because we have two main sides, especially nowadays with the pushback of men. And in this on the social media, you see of the Andrew Tates, they're growing and growing, so there's more of a pushback with men. You have both sides that hate each other, and both of them ignore each other willfully. Okay, this is willful ignorance. So let's have a more unbiased look into the issues that men and women face. Look at the fucking truth. And one thing I do dislike is victimhood. Okay, and it doesn't matter which side you are on if you show this victimhood of, again, blaming others, how you're just a poor soul. I don't like it because victimhood is a way to take your personal power away. By becoming a victim, you're taking your personal power away. What for? You're giving it away. You're basically saying, okay, nothing that I have very little control on a situation. It's out of my hands. It's the external. Why the are you concerned about the external? You should be concerned about the internal. Let's start with women and women's issues. Let's look into it. Now, one of the biggest issues, really, that women were unable to vote, have a legal right to vote until, again, depending on where you're from, depending on the country, but it's 1920s up to 1980s. Some countries, even after that, even after 1980, if I was a woman, right, I'm supposed to somehow be okay with this fact. Like, I can't fucking vote. I can't. My say is less that than of a man, and he can come up to me, some random motherfucker, and he can tell me, hey, you can't vote, you're a woman. I would have snapped his motherfucking spine in half. I would have cut his balls off real clean, probably. While in many, obviously, areas, it has improved. Again, there are many countries where socially that's not the case. There are many countries where even legally it's not the case. What about third world countries? Where a woman can't drive a car, for example, or where a woman cannot go out without the father's permission, when a woman cannot marry someone, she cannot be in a relationship with someone because of the father, right? Can travel to places because of the father, can dress a certain way because of the father. What about that? So now, if you're a feminist and you're watching this, or even if you're not watching, feminists, my question really is, what the are you doing? As a feminist who claims to be a feminist, not, right? A feminist, a certain ideology that supports women's rights. That's what feminism is. It's not supposed to be just we believe in equality. It's a certain ideology, right? Okay. Now, if you're a feminist, why the are you concerned and fucking butthurt about the gender pronouns and other stupid shit that is happening in a first world country, while you should be out there talking about third world countries? If you give a so much, because you claim you give a fuck, you claim you're a fucking feminist, you claim female rights, so why the please tell me gender pronouns are more important than women who have fucking no rights? Like, literally, in those countries, they obey the fucking man, they obey the fucking father, they have no say. So if you want to be a useful fucking feminist, go and do something about it. Now, second problem that women face is sexual violence, harassment, and even domestic abuse. Of course, this goes to both men and women, because domestic abuse is underreported in men. Many men get abused, and out of fear of stigma and really not acting on it, they don't act on it, and they don't go to the police, they don't file a report because they're embarrassed, because they're ashamed of being put in such position where a woman kind of does that to him. So this issue of domestic abuse, realistically, you want to be fair, this is for both genders. This is for both men and women. Okay, that's it. Statistically, it's more likely that women will be in domestic abuse situations. That's just the reality of the situation. Yes, men are more violent. Yes, men are more aggressive. Men are more risk-taking. Men are more X, Y, and Z. There's no reason for you to deny reality. There's no reason for you to cope about basic biology or about certain types of groups of people that act on violent crime. There's no reason. No one's, that's the fact. Is there an explanation for it biologically? Yes, there is. Like, men generally, again, have higher levels of testosterone, and that will play a part in on average in how the personality manifests. On average, a man is going to be more risk-taking, is going to be more callous, is going to be less sympathetic, less empathetic. It's going to be more aggressive, more assertive, more proactive, more disagreeable. So you'll see many traits that come with higher testosterone. Now, obviously, there are certain types of personalities that take this too far. There are very aggressive personalities, there are very assertive personalities, proactive personalities, highly disagreeable and extroverted personalities who will take what they want. And that's the problem, right? But to deny it, there's no need to deny it, okay? Men are more dangerous than women. And let's not forget, prison system is filled with men. Globally, it's around 90 to 95% of men, 5 to 10% of women globally. Nearly all violent crime, brutal, vicious murders, right? Crime-related, like gang-related activities, stuff like that, that is male-dominated activities. As a man, we don't know what it's like to be worried about being cackled. Usually, like, you don't walk, generally speaking, and you're worried some creep is gonna approach you. That's not the situation. Of course, as a man, you still avoid certain areas and certain places because those areas are just dangerous. But many areas are not dangerous for most men. Yet women get harassed or something happens to men. Maybe you have a wife, maybe you have a daughter, maybe you have a friend, female friend, and trust me, if you ask them about some stories about creepy men trying to creep on them and trying to do that kind of shit with them, you'll hear a ton of stories. You'll even hear them that they felt scared in broad daylight. And for you, it's kind of like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. Like, I walk there all the time. Why would I be scared? Because it's such a different perspective, you don't get that. But just ask and see what happens. Like, if you're a woman watching this video, I can bet $5 that at some point in your life, there was a man who came in your DMs with a picture of a goblin-looking, like, shriveled cock as his way of saying hello. This is fascinating. I genuinely find it fascinating because it's kind of like, I want to understand the psychology between this shriveled cock being sent. Like, okay, why are you thinking? Usually, when you message a woman, maybe you want to get her. Maybe you want to kind of get something with the situation, right? Improve, escalate the situation in some type of way. So I guess you thought that, okay. I mean, chicks like dicks. So if I send my cock right then and there, she's gonna like it, right? I mean, why wouldn't she, duh? I like my dick. What? And she probably think dick's a dick. So I guess that's your mentality. That's what's going through your head. So you think that's like, it's effective, I guess. But do you even care about the effectiveness? Like, do you? Another problem women can struggle with is stigma, right? Stigma, especially in the workplace and certain expectations in the workplace. So many places still are not as welcome of women. They might seem on paper, but the treatment of women can be quite different. I think in IT and certain STEM fields, engineering, some places, I mean, the reality is you might be treated differently. You might be looked at a bit differently. So those pressures do exist from women. The stories of men being condescending to women or assuming they don't know shit or assuming they're not competent, it's very normal. Even though we accept them and we try to encourage them, the culture is still not ready. The culture of the workplace is still not adapted to women. Another problem, which many women can probably support this, right, is losing the rights to your own body. As in, like, you're losing abortion rights, contraception rights, like basically unable to have protection, right? Have the pill and stuff like the IUDs. Some places they don't even they have restricted access to such things, which only makes shit worse for everyone involved, not just women. And then we have social expectations, beauty standards, right? Like expecting this super skinny look that is not attainable. That's not sustainable for any woman who is going to eat normally. For any woman who's going to try to eat like a proper adult, she's not going to be able to sustain that and to sustain that weight, because that's what they see in the magazines. That's what they see when they look at those magazines, right? Wow, social media, I should be like this. I should be so slim, right? The reality is very different. You want to base your whole look, you want to base your body image based on pictures and based on social media, on the Playboy magazines. All of the shit that you see, it's perfectly crafted. It's image oriented shit that is there to make this individual on the cover look perfect. They use Photoshop, they alter the pictures. No, your tits are supposed to sag. Yes, your one tit is bigger than your other tit. Yes, you have stretch marks on your ass. Those things are normal. As long as you're healthy and you take care of yourself, that's the most important. Nearly all women are insecure about their body. Why the do you think that? Because there's a constant comparison game. What are men struggling with? Now, and most importantly, the biggest issue so far, I would say, the most deadly one, is mental health problems. Now, there's severe mental health issue, high rates of depression, and high rates of suicide. There's a lot of isolation that happens with men. Men grow up without father figures. They have no role models. They have no fathers, maybe absent fathers, whatever the but either way, they have no role models. And a man trying to find his way in society, a man trying to find his way in this world. That's the reality. And he can't do that. He can't do that. He has no idea how to do that. He hasn't seen that since he was growing up. He's looking outside. He's looking outside for different role models. And then he's finding those fucking Andrew Tates, those motherfuckers who are, right, telling them you should be this and you should be that, and that's who they're following. Men, more difficult time finding friendships, having support from people. On average, women have it easier in the dating market. It's not as long as you're like a relatively okay looking woman, you have a higher chance of finding some motherfucker to do something with. With a man, it's a bit more difficult, which is why you see this desperation in men. I'm not saying this desperation is nice and then whatever the I don't support desperation in any way, shape, or form. But that's what the it is. That's why you see that. That's the desperation that they have. Not reaching out for help is another issue why men have such issues with mental health. They don't reach out for help. Another big part is probably one of the reasons why many men out there will be like yelling, "No, marriage. We don't want marriage. It's horrible. It's horrible." It's, while do I agree? I'm married. I don't agree with it. Obviously, I'm married. I know why they're saying it. And they're saying it because of the legal issue. And there's a legal bias when it comes to the court, right, of law. Especially when it comes to custody of children and divorce. So that is problematic for the men, which is why they're afraid, like, I don't want to get married, so then I'm going to get over. I don't want to get married, so then I'm going to lose my kid, or she's going to get most of the custody or all of it. I'm because I'm a man. They're gonna side with that. So those things are very true. So the Sigma male grindset and the idea of stoicism and all of those things. Men don't talk about their feelings. Men don't talk about their emotions. Obviously, women will say, no, we want men to talk about emotions. It can be even attractive. That's what they'll say. But then the men will say, well, I opened up to my girlfriend or to my female friend, and she got turned off by me, and she was weirded out by me because I opened up to her about something vulnerable. They might say those things. The idea that they have to be strong. And maybe naturally they're not. Maybe naturally they're more emotional. Maybe naturally they're more sensitive and thin-skinned. Then what? What do you do then? They cannot... Listen, if you're not tough or you're not this or you're not that, don't try to be someone you're not. You will have better luck by focusing on what you're good at and your strengths than trying to be this ideal stoic male tough. And then we have body image issues, which same thing as with women. Men have the same shit. This is less there, but you often see it working out, usually in fitness. That's where you see it. Guy thinks he can look like The Rock. A guy thinks he can look like Chris Hemsworth. Maybe the woman thinks too. Maybe the woman thinks, oh, if you just put in the time and work, you would look like Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is on steroids. The Rock is on steroids. So you're not looking at normal good depictions of a male body in any way, shape, or form. Those individuals are using supplementation that is based on testosterone. Like, what the fuck? This is not natural and achievable in any way, shape, or form. Models, again, actors, celebrities. I would tell you this, don't look at celebrities to tell you how you should look as a male. Nearly all of them are juice heads. Another thing, you can't look like Brad Pitt because you are not Brad Pitt. Even if you have the same amount of muscle, the same amount of fat, whatever the you are not Brad Pitt, you will not look like him. You have different muscle insertions. Your body type is different. Your bone structure is different. How wide your shoulders, how narrow, everything is different. So in a sense, looking at someone and saying, I want to look like that is just completely, it's never going to happen because you can't. So that is concluded. So there's no real okay, women have it easier. Oh, men have it easier. No, there's no such thing. Women have it easy in specific things. Men have it easier in specific things. But at the end of the day, Don't be focused on how hard this gender or those people have it and how easy I have. Those thoughts or those concepts of thinking how hard it is, how it's pointless. I'm telling you right now. You're not gaining shit by thinking how hard I have it or how easy. How exactly does that matter? How exactly does that matter? You knowing how easy or hard you have it. Because that's your life. Your life. You're stuck in your skin. That's who you are. So if someone has it harder or easy, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you're still stuck with yourself. Anyway, guys, so that's it for me today. I tried to go in detail, so yes, it was very long. But yeah, see you next time. I'm out. I'm bouncing. Ciao. Bye.